Glenmar. For those who do not know me, my name is Ikenna Obi. Uh, my parents are originally from Nigeria. I have a brother who is currently a freshman at George Washington in DC, and a sister who is at Resurrection St. Paul School. I'm in my senior year of high school at Mount St. Joseph in Baltimore. I'm currently in the process of applying to colleges, which is hard to think about, but it'll be rewarding in the end. My goal is to become an orthopedic surgeon because it's a field where I can provide good health and well-being to my patients, as well as using problem-solving techniques. So I started driving last year, and I was recently thinking about the first days of my experiences on the road. They were some of the happiest days of my life so far. Cruising around the town just for fun, it was true freedom. But I realized I don't have that feeling anymore. I just kind of want to get there. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. But we never really settle down and think about what we can see, enjoy the journey, see the sights. We kind of always just want to get to the destination. With that said, I was thinking about all the things you could see on the road. You could see people, animals, stores, billboards, political signs after the election. The election ended a little over 3 months ago, but I guess some people are still in campaign mode. Well, last week while I was driving on Route 108, something really caught my eye this time. There was a Trump campaign sign defaced and vandalized. It wasn't the first one I'd seen, but I didn't really think much about it at first. But then I processed the vandalism as kind of the result of an election that divided our country, divided our communities. An election that made us feel separated and different from each other. Things like political beliefs, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, and race that divide us from our neighbors, our friends, even our families. But I always think that's what an election could do to us, could do to our country. But there must be a solution to our problem. And I think that solution could be unity. The state motto of Kentucky reads, "United we stand, divided we fall." The United States are like one big team. They're called the United States for a reason. We're one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We must work together, work for each other, to achieve the goal of unity, which is the key. I really want to emphasize the message of the Good Samaritan, comparing it to the social tension that we see in our country today, but what can be learned from it and used in our society. Jesus uses the conflict between the Samaritans and the Jews to teach us what it means to love our neighbors. The Samaritans were a group from Samaria in the north, and the Jews were a group from Judea in the south. They didn't get along. The Jews despised the Samaritans because they married other races and they didn't observe the Mosaic law. One day, a lawyer asked Jesus, "Who is my neighbor?" Then Jesus tells a story of a Jewish man walking from Jerusalem to Jericho. He's robbed, beaten, left for dead. But 3 men see him on the road. The first is a priest who is Jewish. He sees the man, passes him by on the other side, and doesn't care for him. The second man is a Levite. He does the same. But the third man is the most unlikely man. He stops. He sees the Jew. He cares for him like he's one of his own. He has mercy on the Jew. He tells us what it means to really love. He unites the Jews and the Samaritans in his own way. Unity starts on a small scale. It starts with us, with the little things. The social tension and the Good Samaritan represent some of the problems we see in our country today. But we can overcome these problems with love. The lawyer asked Jesus, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus says, "Love your God with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your heart, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Love serves as the ultimate unifier, the ultimate healer. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 states, "Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Perseveres. This verse shows us what love does, what it is, how we should love others, how we should act towards others. It shows us the qualities and actions that are prevalent in a harmonious society, the qualities that will bring us together. Unity can be achieved through respect. We never really think about the literal meaning of the word respect, but I really thought about it last year when I had to teach a class on it. Well, from a literal standpoint, respect means to see again, with the prefix re meaning again, and the Latin root spect, which means to see. Looking again was something I found myself doing in Hurley, Virginia 4 years ago. Hurley is a town that means a lot to our church. It's where some of us have spent a week or 2 or 10 or 50, becoming like family with their locals. But this is the front door of their high school. It's where we spend our nights over the course of the week. I heard things about Hurley when I first got there, before I got there. And, well, I got there and I was scared. I was intimidated by the nature of the town. I saw Confederate flags, and I saw that their mascot were called the Rebels. And I was confused. I wasn't sure how they would see me, whether I'd be treated the same. I was asking myself questions like, why did I come? Would I ever come back? But as I went through the week, I looked again. I saw the town in a different light. They didn't care what I looked like or who I was, but the fact that I came down and I helped them, that's what they loved. They loved that we put their needs above ours. But over the years, I found relationships with the people of Hurley. It's a place where I've come to feel welcome. I realized that while we might come from different parts of the country, different cultures, we're really just the same. Which is why I went back every summer over the last 4 years, to go back and see how I've grown, how I've changed, and to visit those who only loved and appreciated us. I always think about how my perspective has changed over the last 4 years. My experience in 2013 that helped me to get a better understanding of who they were. As I look back on my initial judgments, I felt like they only contributed to the problem, not the solution. I thought maybe I shouldn't be so quick to judge. To me, the people of Hurley show me what it meant to be the Good Samaritan, working together, putting all differences aside, and loving your neighbor. So, look again, and you'll see something in someone you never thought you'd see. Look again, and you'll realize that we're all created the same, in the image and likeness of God, created under one race, the human race. Service is something that helps me to see that image and likeness of people in God. Service is very important to me. Glenmar and Mount St. Joseph have taught me what it means to serve. My school requires all freshmen to do service at Our Daily Bread. It serves a large population of homeless people in Baltimore. I truly learned while I was there, my job was to empty off plates. I got to see almost every person that came through the soup kitchen that day. It was in the middle of the winter, so more people were going to be inside. I saw people suffering from drug addiction, people who didn't have anything, homeless people right in front of me. But I saw people who gave me back a full plate of food because they had no appetite. But what stuck with me that day was when I saw people digging in the trash to get food because that was the only meal they were going to have for the rest of the day. It was another one of my experiences like Hurley that changed me as a young teenager, that changed the way I think. Living in Ellicott City, I never really saw what it meant to really struggle. But what I couldn't understand after that day was the fact that we live comfortable in nice homes, nice communities, you have good jobs, but 20 minutes away, there's people suffering. Service helps us to better understand the point of view of someone else. It's one of the first steps to bringing us together. One of the general misconceptions about people from Howard County is that we think we're above everything. But service doesn't put one person over the other. It puts us on the same level of equality. It tells us that we're all the same. It shows us that we are not united when we work together. Service is love. So, how can we become unified? First, we can respect. Look again. Allow our minds to be changed through empathy. We can try to get a better understanding of life from the point of view of people different from us. We can interact with others that we never thought we could relate to. Others we did not originally think that were just like us. We can give everybody a fair chance. We can serve each other as best as we can. Take time out of our busy lives and try to get this perspective of our neighbors. It's the small things that will make someone feel special, that will make someone feel like you care for them. And lastly, we should love each other to inherit that eternal life. We are created to love one another. Service and respect are two ways we can show that love. Love is how we will become united. We should follow in the footsteps of the Good Samaritan because he's the ultimate model of what it means to love, respect, and serve. Love your neighbor as yourself, united as children of God. Amen.